The Street Corner Soapbox. The Street Corner Soapbox with Falso and Willin. Podcast takeover. We're making a killing. Music to nightlife. Debauchery and street news. Serving it hot. We are some street news, movies and mayhem. The craziest guests, words from chaos. Get it off our chest, Rhode Island, worldwide, dark corners in all places. Speak how we live, radio show, smoking aces. Ladies and gents, for the people we're talking. Take the show on the road, right where you're walking. Yeah.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Street Corner Soapbox Podcast coming to you live.
That's right, boys and girls. Street Corner Soapbox. Now, we all know during this crazy time with the pandemic, businesses are struggling. So we're here to support local businesses, and we need your help to do so also.
That's right. So subscribe to our Patreon, become a member to help support the show, and receive exclusive episodes and bonus content, as well as discounts on merch. That's patreon.com/streetcorner_soapbox2020.
Follow us on our website, streetcornersoapbox.com.
That's right, boys and girls. We are back. Street Corner Soapbox. I'm here with my brother, Lord Willin.
Yo, what's the word, man?
What's up?
Nah, man. Looking forward to today's show.
Yeah, awesome guest. Bringing on Richie Krutch in the house.
Richie. What's up, bro? Wisdom in Chains.
What's up, guys? How you doing? I like that intro. The intro's dope.
Thank you, bro. I appreciate it, man. Yeah, man. Good to have you on, bro. I know Richie for a minute. Shout out to my boy, Mad Joe. Also, Wisdom in Chains, one of the best hardcore bands around. And, you know, I wanted to get Richie on the show, talk some shit.
I appreciate that.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man. So, how's everything going with you out there?
It's all right. Same shit. You know, everybody's all whacked out, this and that going on. You know, luckily I'm working, so writing music, keeping busy, doing what we can during this time. You know what I mean?
Yeah. We got a new Wisdom in Chains album coming out.
In the works. We just released a split 7-inch, but just something to hold people over if they needed a little music. There's a little bit there, but as far as an album, it's in the works. It'll be a minute though, but it's in the works.
No doubt. Good to hear, man. So why don't you get into your background a little bit? You know, where you're from and you know how you came up in the scene and everything like that.
All right. I'm originally from Newark, New Jersey, and as my family was from there, I was born out there. Then when I was young, we moved out to PA. And in PA is where I started. You know, I was old enough to really start getting interested in music. Early on, like big hip hop and digging some aspects like heavy metal.
Yep.
But like the heavy metal, I didn't really like the look or the vibe, you know what I mean? But I did like the sound of it. And then eventually going to metal shows, you know, next thing you know, boom, you got a band like Sick of It All opening one of these metal shows. And then I was like, oh, that's for me, that kind of stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so you related more to maybe hardcore than metal in a sense.
Totally. I like the sound of the metal. I like the shows, but I didn't like the look, the lyrics. You know, I thought it was all a little goofy.
Yeah.
But, yeah, but the hardcore stuff was like, oh, you could be like a regular dude and just get up there and grab a guitar and bug out, and you know, yeah, I like that part of it. You know, early on, I did like a lot of hip hop.
Who are some of your early hip hop influences?
For me, you know who I used to really like? Schoolie D. Okay. I used to really like MC Shy D, if you remember that dude.
I don't know. I know the name, but I don't know of any of his music.
He had a really good song called "I'm a Star." That shit was like his big song. I liked Kumo D.
Okay. All right.
Kumo D was hard. He had a song called "The Best," and the lyrics in that were good. And one of the greatest beefs, early beef, was that Kumo D LL Cool J back and forth with all that stuff. But these guys didn't really get big. You know what I mean? They were big for the time, but they didn't extend. Like, you know, nobody's talking about those cats now. Yeah. But that's the first stuff I liked. I don't even know how I came across that shit. But then I started liking groups. Like Public Enemy was like a group that I liked, and then NWA. I like the whole idea of a rap group, you know?
Yeah. Were you rocking the Kumo D shades back then?
No, I was looking all over for them, though. There were two things I always looked for, and it's just funny you bring that up. I always look for the Kumo D shades, and I used to look for this jacket that the drummer from Van Halen wore, and it was on the back of their record. He had like this white leather jacket. I was like, yo, if I could combine those two, I'd be hard.
You would have set a new fucking fashion trend for sure with that look.
Yeah. I could never find either though. Lucky for me.
All right. Early on, how did you get into music as far as like performing? Does anybody in your family, like a lot of people that were interviewing, they come from like a music background?
Yeah, how'd you start up like, getting into actually playing?
Well, my dad was into like doo-wops, right?
Nice.
He used to tell me when he was young he had a doo-wop group called the Blenders.
Nice.
And they used to just sing outside, like around put a garbage can on fire, sing on the corner, you know what I'm saying? Then he started trying to like book oldie shows. And I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. You could do that. You could book like the bands you like. You could actually book them. And then I was like, I always did love the oldies, but it wasn't my time. But, I did appreciate that music. I used to have the 7-inches. Back then, we called them 45s. My dad said, oh, check this 45, that 45.
Yeah, you grew up listening to oldies anyway.
Everybody was, that's like an eternal music, especially
absolutely.
Kids. Yeah, kids always seem to like it too, because it's just like a straight up catch. It's almost like a nursery rhyme,
Yeah.
And so I was into that. Then when I was seeing these, I was getting into like metal stuff, and I really liked Black Sabbath and Led Zeppelin. But this stuff was like, big time rock star shit. I had no fantasy of even attempting that. I just liked it. I enjoyed it. But once I started hitting those metal shows and caught a glimpse of a couple hardcore bands on stage, that's when I was, I could do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's more my speed. I wasn't about to be, dressing up and doing all that stuff, but just to go up there and play and say something, that's the thing. But nobody in my family really played instruments or anything like that. But my dad, he was a real big music fan, for the stuff they did like,
Yeah. So, was Krutch your first band, or did you have a band before that?
Yeah, Krutch was the first band, but it was the same band, but in the beginning it was called Prophets of Rage.
All right.
We were biting off
that's
Public Enemy stuff at the time.
Yeah, and they actually called they did a collab with, I think it's Rage Against the Machine and Public Enemy. I think that's what they called it, Prophets of Rage.
That's a new thing. Yeah, that's like a newer thing. And I talked to the guys in the band in Krutch, and I was like, oh, you see that? They were like, oh, yeah. Because when we first started, we were like, thinking of a name, and we loved Public Enemy. We picked that name, and I did a big graffiti piece in my basement, and Prophets of Rage, but it didn't look right, you know what I'm saying? So we didn't use it. But the first couple things we did, we were calling ourselves that, that didn't last. But so Krutch was, technically like the first band, and they were the same thing.
Were you writing graffiti back then too?
Yeah, we used to go crazy with that. I used to write Osuc, OSUC.
Word.
And Zeus. And I used to do OSUC because it was like half of my last name backwards.
Dope. That's creative.
But, yeah, I never was good, but I'd be everywhere. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it wouldn't look good, but if your piece was dope and I didn't like you, you're getting covered up. Like,
you were crossing the good shit out and putting your tag up.
Yeah, I was like the hater guy. Good stuff.
So how did Krutch actually come together?
Krutch was like, this is like, we're still in like junior high and high school when this is coming together. So I knew those dudes from high school, and when I said I was going to metal shows, one of the guys going with me, his name was Josh. He would eventually be the bass player in Krutch, and me and him were just traveling. And then while we're with all these dudes that are there to see the metal bands, me and Josh are like, oh, we like hardcore bands, and we're more about this. And we just said, let's start something up. And then we recruited another dude, Sean, same school, got him on the drums. And then eventually I would meet the singer. Like, he stole my bike way back in the day. And then that's how I met him. My girl knew both of us. I drove to see her. Boom, my bike's gone. Next day in school, she's like, oh, this guy stole your bike. He wants to talk to you. I was like, what? So I talked to him. He's like, oh, I didn't know it was yours, man. I didn't even think that, because I didn't live anywhere like in that area.
Yeah.
So that's how I met him. But he did the right thing. He ratted himself out, told me he had the bike. And I got my bike back, and got it back in pieces though, like in pieces.
Oh, word! What was he doing? He brought it to the chop shop.
within one night, he had that bike, and by that night, he was in his garage in pieces on a big sheet.
Yeah,
so when I came to get the bike,
he
was gonna turn it into a new bike.
Yeah,
he was gonna. The thing is, he didn't know that bike was a whack ass Huffy bike that I put GT Pro Performance stickers all over this bike to make it look legit.
Word.
Yeah, so I was even sweating it, but
so it was really a lemon, but it looked like
it looked dope. It was like back then, like we were rocking like purple bikes and all of that back then. It looked real dope, but it was a piece of crap.
Funny how life works, right?
Yeah. That's how I met those dudes, and we just started playing, and we were excited to play, and boom, we just started like writing shit and trying, figuring out how do you put stuff out, where do we record, the process everybody goes through in the beginning. But those were the dudes, just early junior high school guys.
Oh yeah.
When did you do your first show?
It was probably with that band, and it was probably like a house show.
Okay, someone's basement or something.
Yeah. I remember. I have a bad memory, but I do remember playing somebody's back porch.
Yep.
And it was crazy because it was all related to the school. So it was just like people could care less about the music. They're like, oh, so people are in the band. That's cool. Let's go over there and drink and party and see this band. But we were already on that, like, yo, we're a hardcore band shit. Like, Yeah. But they weren't feeling it like we were, but they were definitely backing up for a while, like as far as local people, just like going for the ride. So we did like regular things, shows like basements, like you said, porches. Then all of a sudden, somebody rents a hall, we play a hall before we started figuring out how to play clubs,
Yeah. I mean, that's usually how most bands or artists start off. I had a similar experience.
Completely, yeah, that's it. I mean, this is like 1989, 1990 probably.
Word. The glory days.
Yeah.
So progressing forward a little bit, in 1993, you guys came out with, you did a first demo, Stand Strong, Stand Alone.
Yeah. The first thing we did was actually from '89, but it was 3 songs. Mm-hmm. Only one song we could find, and that's called Our Thing. We put it out later, just in a mix with all our old demos.
Yeah, just added it in.
But that Stand Strong, Stand Alone, that was like the first thing that we had. Like once we knew the system a little bit.
Yep.
When we had those first 3 songs, we were just handing out like a blank cassette. Here. The dudes that could care less about the scene. Like, so they want to see us live and have fun, but they weren't going to play the shit at home.
Yeah.
But by the time we were a little more wise, what's going on is when we demo, and then we kind of tried to make it look, like it's in the mix with everything else. Like it's at least up to the caliber of the average demos out there. Mm-hmm. And that was Stand Strong, Stand Alone. That was probably the first like semi legit thing to turn a head or two.
How was the hardcore punk scene out by you in your part of Pennsylvania?
It was actually really good. It was like very strong. Like it was Eastern PA, which is like north of me is like Scranton, and south of me is like Philly. You know what I mean? So from Scranton to Philly, there was always something going on. And then in between, you got Allentown, you got Easton, Bethlehem. You got all these smaller little towns and cities, and it was actually real strong. And I'm like 5 minutes from New Jersey, so in North Jersey. So we would go back and play all the North Jersey clubs and North Jersey venues like the Pipeline, Studio One, the Cricket Club, and we weren't far from New York City.
Right.
So that whole circle we could get to was like within an hour to an hour and a half. We're getting to all the hot spots back then. You know what I mean?
That's a good area.
Yeah, you guys had a nice little scene out that way, and then you were really close to New York City in Jersey. So
yeah, real convenient. Yeah, like we could do a lot of like mix it up, do a lot of different scenes in one weekend. And then boom, we're back home. It's nobody even got crazy. It's 2 hours driving, nothing big. And if we go a little farther, we're hitting Albany now, or we're hitting Baltimore. Go a little farther, now we're hitting Boston.
Yep.
Now we're hitting D.C. So everything was too far from here. It was a good location.
Yeah, and plus you had probably support anywhere you went. That's just the hardcore community in general.
Yeah, eventually, we start meeting people, start meeting bands, trading off shows, and then, you know, some scenes were better than others. They go up, they go down, but, you know, it all worked out. It was like, you know, we knew who we were going to see for the most part everywhere we went. It was always a good time. Back there, it was nice back then. You know, it wasn't oversaturated. Yeah. The only problem would be, like, some violence maybe, or a venue would just go under, and then that whole scene would kind of fade out if kids didn't step up, find a new spot, you know?
Yeah.
That was like the hurdles back then.
So in total, Krutch, you guys dropped 4 albums?
Man, I don't know offhand, but that's probably, like as far as full lengths, maybe like 2 or 3, and a lot of 7. And maybe 4. I don't even know, to be honest. You know, but I remember the last thing. The last thing is probably the only thing that's really out there because it's up like digitally on like Spotify and iTunes and stuff. But the other stuff is just, I guess people can find it on YouTube, you know?
Yeah, any plans to get those older albums out?
Yeah, I got everything except for that last album that we did. That's owned by a label called Ice Cream.
Yep.
I've been trying to get it back for a long time. Hopefully I can get it back eventually. I mean, he's had it, you know, forever, you know?
Yeah.
Like, you know, give it up now. You had your fun with it. Let
us have our turn with our album.
Yeah.
No doubt.
Let me get a bite off that. You know what I mean? Like,
oh, I hear you, bro.
Yeah. So, how did the formation of Wisdom and Change start?
After a while, we were in a band called Mushmouth. Okay. It was called Mushmouth, but it would eventually turn into a band called Out to Win, which was the name of the first Mushmouth album. Because of like some legal stuff going on with the name Mushmouth, we changed it to Out to Win. Yeah. So when Out to Win broke up, I was in the band. Joe was the singer of Wisdom Change, was playing bass in Out to Win, and I'm on guitar. We lived together.
All right.
And we said, yo, you know, what are we going to do? What do you want to do? And a couple years before that, this dude from Europe came over, a homie. He wanted to do a side project. And he like wrote all the songs except for like 1 or 2. He flew to the U.S. We recorded them. Joe sang on them. They put out something called Wisdom and Change, right? Mm-hmm. So that's always was on like the back burner. So when Out to Win broke up, we were like, should we just start a band? And he's like, yo, why don't we just use a couple of those Wisdom and Change songs and then write some new ones around those? And that's kind of what we did. We got the blessing with the kid from Europe. He said, yeah, definitely do it. And we kept like 2 of those songs and wrote another one and put out an album and then started that thing. We told the guy, you cool? Like, we'll get an all-American lineup, dudes we know locally, and we'll keep this going. And he was like, yeah, definitely. So it was actually a dude in Europe that started the band, or at least the idea of the band. It was kind of like a different sound-wise, sonically. It was a different band, but we kept the name because we just wanted to keep playing, and the band we were in broke up, you know? Mm-hmm. So we kind of just said, let's keep that shit going.
That's pretty dope that they let you guys rock with it.
Yeah, he was cool. We still see the dude. Every time we play in Holland, he was from Holland,
mm-hmm.
Boom, he's out. And then if we play one song from that old, he loves it. He loves when we play like the song he wrote, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he was in a band called Daredevil, right? Over in the Netherlands, in Holland.
Yeah. Back then, like in Europe, in Holland and Belgium especially, there was a lot of like hardcore bands, but they were real like metally, like, metalcore bands. There was like Kickback and Archangel, Congress, like all of these bands. They had a scene, but it was just like, you know, screaming and heavy metal shit and boom. And then this dude was like, Daredevil was in that mix.
Okay.
And he wanted to be like, yo, I want to get a band that's just more old school, traditional. And we was like, all right, you know, like. And originally, when he was coming to America, he was going to have Aaron from Death Threat sing on the Wisdom and Change, but Aaron couldn't do it. And then last minute, Joe jumped on it. And but it was like the idea for him was like, I just want to do something different than the heavy stuff I'm doing. A little more hardcore, straight up hardcore, traditional hardcore.
Now,
that's what he did.
Had you guys went over there and toured, and that's how you met him?
Yeah, we met him while we were in Krutch over there.
Okay.
And he was in Daredevil. We did some shows, and he was like a real nice guy, and like just like way too nice to even be. I'm saying he was like when we we stayed at his house a few times. We were like, wow, this is like the nicest guy in the world. He's like, we said he's real skinny, right? He's like a real skinny dude. We're like, yo, what do you eat, bro? He's like real skinny. And we're like, it was breakfast time, and we're like having crazy big breakfast. And he's like, I just like to have milk with strawberry flavoring. And we're like, oh. I was like, wow, this is like the nicest guy ever. Like, what he was. Yeah.
So he wasn't a vegan. His eating habits were different.
Yeah, he was like real clean. Like he was nice enough. He let us stay at his house, but after every shower, he would go into the shower with a squeegee and clean the whole shower.
Wow. Like my father does that. Fucking psychopath.
That's crazy, right?
Now, but that part, I've yet to go there, but that part of the world is a bit more clean than us over here, isn't it?
Yeah. They're very clean. Like, I remember the first time, like, in his neighborhood, every house had, like, shutters on it, but like commercial shutters, like metal shutters on the windows.
Yeah.
But not for, like, there was no crime at all. But driving down the street, every house at like 7 o'clock at night, boom, they just put these things down. But I loved it, man, because you would fall asleep in these houses, and it could be 1 in the afternoon, and you don't know anything.
Totally blocked out. Do you know the reasoning behind why they had them up?
I have no idea. I used to always, and he was just like, "That's just all these houses come with it." That's like,
really,
yeah.
Do they get storms and stuff, maybe?
Yeah, were they storm windows?
I don't know. You know, I really,
they might have like a bad. They might have like a bad season or something.
Hurricane or something. I don't know either. You know, it's interesting.
Yeah, you know what? It might be. It might be because it's real like flat over there. It was real flat.
Tornadoes and shit.
Yeah, could be. But I always noticed that. They're very neat people. The people over there, Belgium, Holland, all those countries, nice people.
There's a big hardcore scene out there, right?
Yeah, well, metal. You said more metal, more metal than hardcore.
Well, those guys, they were hardcore bands, but you know, to us, it was like influenced by metal. You know, same thing now. Like,
right.
Like Code Orange is a hardcore band, but listen to them. Jesus Piece. You know, it's kind of like there's the different categories of hardcore.
Yeah.
Like the dudes over like Daredevil and all those bands, they were straight up hardcore bands as far as culture. But sound-wise, you know, definitely influenced and borrowed from a lot of metal stuff, you know.
How do you feel about that? You know, obviously, do you think it was a natural progression for bands to just get heavier and adapt more of that metal sound?
Yeah, you know, I mean, that's just like, and plus, like, that's how when I mentioned the band Mushmouth and Out to Win, they were like that, you know, and they were more of a heavy kind of aggressive, screaming, like in your face, relentless kind of band. And that, you know, people would call it metal, like even today, still it's the metalcore scene,
right.
You know,
right.
Whatever you call it. To me, it's all hardcore bands. They just like All Out War is like one of my favorite hardcore bands.
Sure.
Let's face it. How do they sound? You know, I hear Cro-Mags in the mix, but it's certainly heavily influenced by metal. You know what I mean?
Do you think there's a lot of kids, like I think I've run into some people that are, I guess you could say, into metalcore, but they don't really know about, I guess you would say, the traditional hardcore bands.
Yeah, totally. Like if you like metalcore in the bands category, like All Out War or Marauder, or you know those bands, then you'll know. You're like, oh yeah, of course we know. Sick of It All and Agnostic.
Right.
We love all that stuff. But if you are into metalcore bands that are like, I don't even know their names, to be honest, it's like a whole different world.
Yes.
Like they're like, you go to their show and they're like, oh, this is our hardcore scene.
Yes.
But
yes.
They have no really, you know, kind of connection to what we think is the hardcore scene.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I've noticed that.
Yeah.
I've talked to a few people not that long ago, and they're telling me the bands they listen to, and I'm like, yo, I don't know any of those bands. And then I'm naming the bands I listen to, who I think to me are hardcore bands, and they're maybe familiar with one or two. And I'm like, yo, what the fuck?
Yeah.
I'm like, what's going on right now?
Yeah, it's a really, it's like a isolated scenes, you know, and they don't play a lot together. The bands don't play together, and their scene, honestly, in America has like an upper hand because it's more like business based.
Yes.
It's more like they have better labels behind them, better promotion behind them, and you know they'll do like stuff on digital format, special stuff, and the way we operate hardcore here in America for the style I like and you like.
Yeah.
it's like really half-assed, to be honest. You know, like we're just winging it, man. Like,
yeah, DIY strictly.
yeah, I mean, it's too bad. I know we could do more, but
yeah,
you know, the majority of dudes in our scene are, you know, they have to work. They still work. It's not, you know, there's very few bands in the hardcore that we love that are full-time bands.
Yeah.
Very few.
Yeah.
You know.
And someone said to me too once, like, oh, those bands you're talking about are more like punk rock. And I was like, well, yeah, I mean, that's the origins of the whole thing, in my opinion, or at least what I understand.
Yeah, they might even they might see us as like, you know, or our scene is, we're not into that punk rock shit.
Yeah.
You know, but their stuff is like, I wish I could just remember a name, but
yeah,
fuck, I don't even know.
It's all good. The listeners
like
know
Bring
what
Me
we're
the
talking
Horizon
about.
or some shit like that.
Yep.
Bring Me the Horizon. You know, that's, you know, there's a whole scene that revolves around bands like that. That to them, it's a hardcore scene. You know.
Yeah.
So fast forward a little bit. In 2005, you had a debut album, Die Young, came out.
Yeah,
and that was with no
that's,
European influences. That was the whole American lineup.
That's finally when that came out. That was like, it was all of us, American lineup, Joe singing, solid dudes. Some dudes left over, you know, other bands. A lot of those dudes we all lived together.
Yeah,
and that's basically right after Out to Win broke up. And Joe were talking, let's take this name, Wisdom in Chains, keep a song or two. At least we got something to work with, and then write around it. And then when we wrote Die Young, we were kind of trying to keep in the tradition of those early songs that Kid Martin from Daredevil had written, you know.
Yeah.
And then Die Young was that style, you know.
So after you guys dropped Die Young, did you start touring heavy, doing a lot of shows at home and overseas?
Yeah, you know, we did, with Die Young, we probably did more U.S. touring under Die Young than we did any other of our albums, with the U.S. anyway. And which is ridiculous. Like, we really slipped up a lot as far as touring the U.S., but that's just how it worked out. And oddly enough, back then, around that time, 2006, hardcore, the scene was getting real heavy. Like, the bands were super aggressive.
Yep.
You know, everybody was trying to
beat down style.
Yeah, real slow down, chugging hard, dope stuff. But you know, we were lucky to be kind of in mixes of different sound.
Yes,
you know, because we were playing with all those bands, but we didn't sound like it. So it was almost like a little breathing room in the, you know what I mean? So it worked out a little bit. People we didn't know how it would go over, but it went over good. And Die Young did well for us. And we did hit the road in the U.S. We had one of my favorite tours to date was with Sick of It All and Ball and Death Before Dishonor.
That's a great lineup.
4 bands.
Yeah, great lineup.
And it was a lot of fun. Everybody was like familiar with each other. Everybody knew each other. And we just did the East Coast with that. And, you know, but a lot of places we would normally never play, like Memphis and places like that. But yeah, it was dope. That was a lot of fun around that time.
How'd you guys come up with like the sound development for Wisdom in Chains, like with more like, you know, melodic songs?
Yeah, melodic songs and definitely has traditional hardcore elements, but you guys have a sound that appeals, I think, to a lot of people. Like, I've introduced Wisdom in Chains to girls and people that I know that might not be into hardcore and punk rock, and they're like, oh, I like this stuff.
Oh, nice. Yeah, you know what? We love all types of music. And if when we're writing, we're like, man, we could use a jam like this. You know, we'll mention a song and we'll take it from there. Like, yeah, we need like a hardcore version of like Tuesday's Gone, Leonard Skinner or something.
Hell
like, let's do something like that. And we just do it. And then if we write a lot of shit, and we're like, all right, fuck, you know, that's not going to work. But if we, like, it still sounds like it's a hardcore song, still sounds like it's Wisdom in Chains, we could definitely hear, I don't know, there's something different about this, then, you know, then we're happy with it. But we're really into albums, you know. We want like on one album, we want it to be like, I know people like now it's like singles,
yes.
but
especially in hip hop.
For me, totally with hip hop, it's like, are we gonna ever have another like another dope hip hop album? We ever gonna have Illmatic again?
I don't know.
I hope so.
I mean, there's dope stuff coming out, but nowadays the move, and maybe even more so because of COVID and those shows, it's a lot of artists, and I'm starting to jump on it too. Is dropping constantly, like either it's a single or an EP. It seems some of these dudes are dropping new EPs every other month.
Yeah, totally, and it's smart, and if that's what people want, that's what people want. But if it's a good song, then it's great to get a good surprise out of nowhere,
right?
A new song from somebody. At the same time, though, I love like a dude like Vinny Paz, like still dropping albums that are like trips, beginning to end. Like a Vinny Paz album is like, oh, you're going on a ride. Like you could listen to this whole fucking album.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? And we like to try to do that as a band too.
Oh, you guys
go for a ride.
Yeah, you guys.
Oh, thank you, man.
Yeah, your albums are very well put together from start to finish. Like just coming to mind, like everything I mean, that album from start to finish is incredible. It's just
thank you, man.
It's very cohesive, and it just flows from song to song.
Yeah, when we have the time, if we have the time and the budget, I love like sitting on the track list. You know what I mean? And just like, after one song, like at the end of this song, how you feel? Like what should you be hit with now? You know what I mean? Like what's next? And then sometimes it works, then we start fighting with each other. No, this should go here, that goes there. But in the end, it is what it is. But yeah, I like albums.
It's working.
I think that's the proper approach to putting out a very good album.
Yeah, it's probably less and less desirable for a certain age group, but maybe not, because stuff comes, it goes up, it goes down, stuff comes back into play. And you know what? That's just how we operate. I mean, of course, we drop these 7 inches, split 7 inches, and try to make them, something a little special with it, for collectors or something. But when it comes time for an album, we try at least to make it like something that maybe someone will sit through the whole thing,
Yeah, and if you look at the history of hardcore too, there was a lot of bands that dropped nothing but singles and never even came out with an album.
Totally. A lot of the biggest, most favorite bands are bands that just had a couple 7 inches out, a couple demos out.
Yeah.
But to me, it's like that first Judge, like that first debut album of Judge. That was like, whoa, that was like a trip to, set it off right off the bat.
Yeah.
Madball, that whole album, here you go.
Right.
One voice, agnostic front. That was another one. So I like it both because once I'm a fan of the band, I want them to put out by any means necessary. Let's hear what you got, cool, a single, 7, what do you. But I always look forward to the albums,
Yeah, no doubt. Talk a little bit about Box Cutter. That's a project you did with Stickman from Fury of 5 and Mad Joe from Wisdom and Chains. Had a bit of a hip-hop vibe.
Yeah, with the Box Cutter, we had we had some extra songs left over from Krutch because we were about to put out a 4-song 7-inch, and then we got a deal to do an album, and we weren't going to use these couple songs, and we just turned that 7-inch into a split. So we had 2 extra songs. Stickman was just like, he's our homie. We always chose Stickman.
No doubt. Shout out to Stickman.
Yeah, he's a good dude, but at the time he was like real miserable. On the verge of getting in a lot of trouble and being crazy. And we just said, yo, Stick, like, you could see he wanted to do something because his band stopped playing.
Yeah.
The band was at each other's throats. They were done, and they weren't done in like a friendly manner. So we said, yo, you want to sing? You want to get into something? Like, take these songs. And he came up with the whole concept. He wanted to do that vibe, hip-hop meets hardcore. But the first 2 songs, they weren't really written like that musically.
Mm-hmm.
Once I realized what he wanted to do, then the songs I would throw him would be like, geared in that direction more. You know what I mean? And it was a lot of fun because Stickman is like a real different approach with music than we do. We're more real laid back and like catch the vibe. Is like none of us even in the band smoke weed, but you think like we were all like weed chilling. Like the way we operate, like we just eat and sit there and listen, eyes half closed. But with Stickman, it's like military school, like
No doubt.
Yeah.
Well, Fury of 5
got a different approach.
I was just gonna say Fury of 5 was a hard band, so. Makes sense.
Yeah, live was, they were so tight, they were so together, and I went to a few Fury of 5 practices, and the reason that they were live, like such a fucking threat live was the way he operated. Like he made those dudes do everything right, There was no mistakes. They moved when they were supposed to move. They jumped when they're supposed to jump. They're ice grilling when they're supposed to ice everything. Like he made those dudes play. I shouldn't say he made them, but he was definitely the leader of the band. They would run through the set while he faced them and just watch them, and then they'd run through it again, and it would be like, okay, now act like this is a live performance, and that was practice, and everybody's going crazy in practice. I was like, wow, I never seen nothing like that. Like, you know what I mean? So that was his approach. Really intense dude. And then Box Cutter was fun, but we just didn't, as far as live playing, we didn't do much.
Yeah, did you guys do any shows or touring with those projects?
No tour, but we did do like a handful of live shows. We did, I think, 2 U.S. shows that were both like benefits. One was for one from Bulldoze. He had a benefit back in the day in New Jersey. Then another one was a benefit up in New York State somewhere. And then we did a show in, I think, Germany. But I'm not even, somewhere in Europe we did like a one-off show.
Oh, word?
Yeah, and that was it. Like, we always got offers to do stuff, but, we had like an active band, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it was just a side
project.
project.
It was like, yeah, and that was like a fun side project. And by that time, Stick was back to being, a productive member of society. We didn't have to keep him busy and make sure he had trouble. No, he was good to go. He loves music. He's down to play. But when we first started it, I felt like he kind of needed some music. You know what I mean?
Yeah, to get him on a straight and narrow almost.
Yeah,
get him out the funk.
Yeah. Well, let me say, too, Pitbull Ways, that track is one of the fucking hardest songs, man. When I hear that shit at the gym or something like that, it's just, I'd lift the whole fucking gym.
Nice. Pitbull Ways, man.
Yeah.
I forget where that was on, but
that's a banger.
That's all him. That's all Stick, man. All the lyrics, the fucking. I mean, if Joe did a rap verse, Joe wrote.
Yeah,
the verse,
Joe. Yeah, Joe's on. Yeah, he's rapping on it too.
Yeah. Joe got a little flow, right?
Yeah, man. Joe. Listen, Joe is one of the best fucking singers. He can rap. Joe's just a super talented dude and a great guy. Mad
Joe,
props
you
to
know
Mad
what?
Joe.
Yeah, he's got talent. He's clever with the lyrics. If he's rapping them or if he's singing them, I just wish that dude would, like, if he committed to it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because he's the kind of guy that, you probably know people like this, they're kind of good at everything, do a little bit, you know what I mean?
Yep.
But they do everything though. But they don't like to decide, I'm going to be a master of this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If he did that, and if you're listening, Joe, you should be a master of your fucking shit. Focus on that shit.
Well, he's definitely good. I mean,
yo, totally. Yeah. I can't complain about Joe. He knows what's up.
No doubt.
Then progressing forward there, you guys came out with 4 more albums and just continued touring and stayed focused.
As far as what?
Wisdom and Chains, yeah.
Yeah. I don't. What album we're on now? If we're
Well, we talked about Die Young, which was the debut Wisdom album, and then after Die Young, you guys dropped like another 4 albums before your latest album.
Okay, so we're on 6 albums. Our next one will be 7.
I think the next album would be Class War. Was that it?
After Die Young is Class War.
Yeah, and then Everything
So,
You Know.
Missing Links.
The God Rhythm.
And then the new one. Okay.
Yeah.
So the next one will be a 7.
All right.
Okay. That's cool. Yeah. I was hoping it would be 10, but it's only 4.
No,
in my head,
you're almost there. You're almost at 10.
in my head, I thought it was 10. I swear. I was like thinking, wait a minute. There was a couple misses, no?
Well, I know you guys had dropped some singles. You actually recorded. I remember you recorded a single with Stress. You guys dropped a little. That was what? 2? Was that 2 or 3 songs?
Yeah, we did. I think with Stress, we did 2 cover songs and 2 original songs on 7-inch, and we did a split 7-inch with Madball.
Right.
1 song each. So we did a split 7-inch with Twitching Tongues. It was like 2 songs we did for that, and then we just did a split 7-inch with Sharp Shock, which is 1 cover song each and 1 original song each.
Word.
So yeah, a lot of stuff in between. But damn, I thought we had more albums.
Yeah, I mean, well, you're getting there. You know, you're working on it.
These motherfuckers, they better wake up. Come on, guys.
You guys might have to crank out, 2 albums during this time.
Dude, listen, during the pandemic, I'm sitting on almost 60 songs.
Wow, dude. Now, are these all wisdom songs or just shit?
Well, they were. Now I'm starting to hand them out to other people because Joe's not fucking. So I'm just like, all right, who wants that? You know, it's like making a picture and you can't show anybody. You know what I mean? Like,
well, maybe we can get a Lord Willin, Richie Krutch collabo or something like that.
Yeah, dude. You can sing. What do you do? You want to rap on?
I'll rap, sing, whatever you want to do, bro. Whatever. We could definitely make it happen.
Damn, we should do like a out of nowhere box cutter 7-inch with an extra dude on it.
Let's do it, bro. I'm totally with it. I've been saying that for a minute to you and Joe. I'm like, yo, we gotta do a song and collab, and I would love to do something.
Yeah, we did that one with Slain. We did a little collab.
Yeah, great track, man. Fucking great track. What's that? Top of the World, right? That's the name of that joint?
Top of the World.
Yeah.
When I seen Slain in action, the way he wrote that, I was like, wow.
Yeah.
This guy's like serious. Like he came in with nothing.
Yeah.
And then was like, as the night came, and at the time he was more into drinking and partying.
Yeah.
Nowadays,
I remember those days. Yeah.
He was just eating cheesesteaks and taking it straight to the face. And then, boom, he was like, but I mean, like basically he was drunk. But for a drunk dude, he didn't write drunk lyrics.
Nah,
you know
man. Nah, that's what he does, man. You know, I've seen him do it before too. I mean, you know, I guess when you're a rapper too, you got to kind of be ready to go at any given time. You know what I'm saying? Yeah,
it's a different setup than it was like, and I like that because we never did that. We never went to the studio with no lyrics, like whatever. You know what I mean? Yeah. No doubt. I like that. That's wild. That's a wild way to do it. But I'm always down to do some music, man. Yeah, bro. I think we should definitely. And now that we have the time, you know what I'm saying, with no one's touring, doing shows right now, it might be the best time to do it. Yeah, I got a lot of songs now, but nothing that style because I wasn't planning on nothing like that. But let me see what I could come up with. Yeah, bro. I'm gonna stay on you about it. I'm gonna hit you up every other day. He's not kidding. All right, cool. I'll get song, in a week. I'll have at least one song ready. All right, well, bro, let's fucking do it, man. 100%. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see if it's you may not like it, but No, I'll do it no matter what. I'll do it regardless, just because. No. You gotta like it. Yeah, I'm gonna like it. I'm pretty sure I'll like it. Yeah, I hope so. But if you don't sweat it. I could take it. No doubt. I'll let you know. Yeah. So moving on here, what are some of your favorite venues and cities to play in, foreign and domestic? I mean, I would love this place called CC's in PA that's closed down. CC's was a really important place for this, like Northeast PA. It was like in a town called Music, which is a little outside of Scranton, PA. But it was so consistent where they, like couple hardcore shows a month, easy. Sometimes 2 in a weekend, and definitely a big meeting place for everybody locally from Philly to Binghamton, New York, because it was like centered around there, and then definitely a big spot for tourists to stop. So everybody played there. It was a local place. That's a place that people around here would probably always mention. Then outside of here in Albany, there was a back in the day that we used to always love playing. This is like Krutch days, called QE2. Okay. And I think it's maybe the Fuse Box now or something. Okay, I've heard of the Fuse Box. I think I might have been there. Yeah, actually. QE2 was dope, and the guy who ran it was a good guy, and we used to always look forward to hitting there back in the day. Of course, CBGBs were like we were lucky I was lucky enough to play CBs with every band I was in, and plus going to so many shows there. Like that was such a it was like it was in Manhattan, which we love Manhattan. So boom, you make a day out of it when you go there. And CB's was always important. The Pipeline was always important in North New Jersey for bands like us. And nowadays, Club Reverb's real important for PA because that's consistent. And a homie owns it, and it's like kind of like everybody's real comfortable at that place. And it's always a good time. Shout out to Chris Mahmood and the bands. When I mentioned when the owner of that club, he was in those bands with us. Okay. So we love that place. Overseas, Berlin, there's a place called SO36, and I always like that place. That place is dope. So it's pretty big. You got to have like a big show there, but it's still, even though it is it is as big as it is, it still has a vibe of like it's a raw like club. You know what I mean? So always like that place. There's so many clubs to name, but those are the ones that off the top of my head.
And you like Germany a lot? It's funny because we had Hoya on, and he was saying the same thing about Germany. I think he might have, I don't think he mentioned the same club, but pretty sure he mentioned Berlin, but definitely mentioned Germany.
Yeah, I mean, Berlin as a city it's almost like the mecca for this kind of music. Like that's where our booking agent's located. That's where his booking, Hoya and Madball's booking agents are located. That's where like there's stores that would feature a band like Madball right in their window.
Yes.
You know, like right on the street, and there's graffiti everywhere, posters, hardcore. You know, if you walk a half a mile in Berlin, you're going to see a poster that says, "Oh, Ignite." Oh shit, that's dope.
Really?
Oh shit, Agnostic Front. Oh shit, that's dope. Damn. Oh, what is this? Death Threat is coming. Wow, that's fucking crazy. Yeah, it's almost too saturated. You know, I don't know how long they could maintain it.
Yeah.
But the Pulse and the hardcore bands going through Berlin are really impressive. Wow. Berlin's a great city. Germany in general. Without Germany, like a lot of the bands that do make a living off this, I don't know if it's survivable without Germany, man. It's a really key place, and not just Berlin.
Yeah. Like
Oberhausen and Dresden and Frankfurt, all of these places, real important.
I got to get over that, man. It sounds dope as fuck.
Yeah.
You should pick something. You should pick when they do like a Persistence tour, or when Madball does one of their tours over there.
Yeah.
The Rebellion tour. You should pick a date that goes through Berlin, and go there a couple days before the show, stay a couple days after, make sure you're there for the show, and it's like, do it, bro.
That sounds like a great idea, man. Yeah, it sounds like a cool fucking place, almost like a throwback.
A throwback, too. You know what? Hip-hop is real big in Berlin, too.
Yeah, I heard that, actually. So maybe I could even get some shows myself over there.
Yeah, you never know. It's like stuff is popping over there. Stuff is real underground. There's maybe Hoya mentioned a place called Cassiopeia.
I don't remember what exactly.
Okay.
I know he said Germany for sure, though. He was talking about Germany.
Yeah.
Okay. Because that's like a complex in Berlin that's almost like, it's like all of a sudden you walk through this little woodsy section and it's like you're in another city. And like an isolated, hidden city that is filled with nothing but different venues and clubs and skate parks and it's filled with graffiti, and so it's like nobody's back there. Like nobody from no square would be back there. No regular person would be back there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, sounds dope.
Like real dope.
My kind of place.
You'd love it. You'd love it.
Definitely.
So now, 2007, you guys released a DVD live performance for Die For Us.
Okay, yeah. That's a shame too, because I got so many of those DVDs left. We sold them real well, and then everybody stopped buying DVDs.
Yeah, DVDs almost non-existent at this point.
They were going good for a long time. Then out of nowhere, it was like boom.
Wow, everyone watches fucking Netflix and everything, Amazon and everything. Kind of just took over all that shit.
Blockbuster and Hollywood Video.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, you're going way back now with that, but.
And it's definitely. I think that DVD is available streaming somewhere.
Oh really? I'll have to check that. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I think so. I don't know which one though, but yeah, this a dude who had a label called Universal Warning Records. He was he approached us just about mind if I film a show and then put out a DVD. I'm like, yeah, go ahead. We ended up being real cool friends with him. Me, him, Chris from Reverb, who I mentioned, some other friends. We started a record label with him eventually,
nice.
But that's how we met that dude. He's a good dude. His name is Tim. He put that DVD out.
Which label is that?
His label was called Universal Warning. The label we have together is called Fast Break Records.
Okay, yeah. Okay, Fast Break. Okay, yep. All right, no doubt.
Yeah.
So, 2018, you guys dropped your newest album, Nothing in Nature Respects Weakness, and that's a fucking great title, and it's a great album. Just talk a little bit about that album.
Well, you're a hip hop dude. We ripped that off from a hip hop guy.
Really?
Yeah. And you never hear Thurston Howell?
Yeah, I know Thurston Howell. Sure.
It was a line in one of his songs.
Oh, I didn't even see. I didn't know that. Learn something new every
Nothing
day.
in nature respects weakness. Yeah, we were listening to this in the van, and I love Thurston Howell.
Thurston's
crazy.
dope. Yeah.
And that line came out, I'm like, yo, replayed it again. Like, this has got to be like a title for an album song. This was way before the album came out, but eventually we used it. So we bit that off him, so respect to him. Sorry about that. If we owe you a couple fuzzles, let me know. But yeah, he was good. And with that album, that was a lot of fun to make. You know, musically it's a little all over the place, but it seems to, review-wise, in the work, people seem to like it, so that's good. Yeah, we had fun with that one. Like, that one was one of, I'm semi-happy with that one. Like, sound-wise, production, the songs, it's pretty good, man. A couple things bother me about it, but you know what bothers me big is the layout on that one.
How so?
We the album before, we had the same artist that did both covers, like the pieces. The owl was on the one before.
Yep.
And on Nothing in Nature Respects Weakness is the skull. So it's the same dude, but the dude that put together the album, as far as all the graphic arts, was Busky.
Okay, shout out to Busky.
Yeah, Busky's like a mastermind.
Yes.
You know, he's really good. He's got a good eye. You know.
Yeah, he's nasty.
And
with that
couldn't get Busky. He wasn't available for this one. So I had that piece, like just the skull itself, but we just didn't have the skills, and we couldn't find somebody with that kind of Busky imagination to turn it into what we wanted. But other than that, yeah, we like that album.
Yeah, it's a great album. Another well put together album. Some real standout tracks on there. And
thanks, man.
I think I look forward to the next full length.
Now, you guys also under Fast Break Records, you guys come up with your own podcast, Post America Podcast.
Yep, yeah, that's me, guitar player, and Joe, the singer.
Yeah.
And how did that come about? What made you want to get into the podcast game?
Well, when we first did it, it was like we loved podcasts. We were listening to like our favorite couple podcasts. We were always, we were on tour a lot, but there was no options for like podcasts talking like what we're talking about now.
Yeah,
there was no hardcore stuff we could find. Not even like punk rock podcasts. Nothing. Everything was like real based on this one only talks about science. This one talks about politics. This one. So probably around 2015, we started that one, and it's been that long ago. But at the time, it seemed like there was nothing for hardcore. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we said, "Yo, let's do it," because our dude Chris, the guitar player, he's like a super nerd. You know what I'm saying? So we're like, Chris, you'll know how to do this. You know what I'm saying? What do you need? Like, we'll buy the gear. So boom, he said, buy this one, buy that one, buy the other one. So we got him the gear, put everything together, and then we just started doing it. In the beginning, for the first few years, we used to do these in a bar. The bar used to give us this back room where we used to bring in guests and just eat the whole time and talk. But it was like a lot of background noise. It was a little annoying. And eventually we said, yo, let's just keep this like, in somebody's house or an office, like, get a little better, work on the sound quality a little bit. Because Chris was like, he's down to do it, but he didn't want to do it half-assed. He wanted to make sure everything sounded good. He was just like, the quality had to be good. And when we were winging it in this place, he was always so frustrated. He's like, the levels are wrong. You can hear this guy
especially back then.
over here.
That's how we started too. So I relate to what he's saying. Yeah. we're only 2 months in, but I the first month was like that.
Yeah, we're using my DJ equipment, plugging in, using 10 adapters to hook up different mics and headphones and fucking. We got it to work, but we got to invest. Especially back then, there wasn't much.
Yeah,
there probably wasn't much equipment for you guys.
When you guys started, there was no. I don't think the Roadcaster was out. So you guys.
No, this was like
2015.
Yeah. No, we had like this little mini soundboard that we would bring with us. Yeah. Mic attachments and then his laptop. You know, so we were having like studio professional mics for like vocal recording, this and that, but the locations were noisy, this and that. But Chris, luckily Chris, he did everything. Like if he stopped helping, like lately I've been doing a podcast alone with one guest.
Okay.
But Chris is still in the mix, even though you might not hear him. He's still the one that's EQing all of these, mastering them, and and uploading them on all the platforms and stuff. Like, I don't know how to do any of that stuff. So respect to him for doing that shit, you know?
No doubt. And where can people hear the Post America podcast?
Post America, you could go right now. The formats I think we use are Spotify, Apple Music, or iTunes. I think that's the same thing.
Yep.
Stitcher Music, and then SoundCloud.
Okay, cool. So everyone out there,
one of those formats, you're good.
Do you guys have a website for it or anything, or just?
Nah, we don't. There's like a Instagram page for Post America, but that's it. Like, we don't have. We should have a website, but that's all we really use for promotion is a Facebook page and an Instagram page, Post America Podcast.
All right, cool. So everyone out there, make sure you go follow the Post America Podcast on Instagram. Check it out on all digital platforms, pretty much. That's what it sounds like. And it's a good listen for sure. So what are your I know you said you got 60 songs right now in the stash, so I'm asking you, what's your upcoming music plans or anything else that you got going on?
Well, I some of these songs I dealt out to I was like, oh, maybe so-and-so will sound good on this, so I sent them a song. Oh, maybe so-and-so won't do this one, send them a song.
Yeah.
So while I'm waiting for our guys to kind of everybody get ready and want to do a full length, I'm just still writing, and messing around. A lot of this stuff will probably never see the light of day, but we'll see what happens. But when we are ready, it shouldn't be too long of a process, because I know Evan writes a lot of stuff, our bass player. Chris Mavromatis is a sick musician. He writes a lot of stuff. They kind of don't record the same way I do. They kind of come in and they have a whole song to show us. Here, check the song. It's like a live thing.
Yep.
I email them an MP3 of kind of an almost complete song, and they come in already knowing it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it should be a fast process. You know what I mean? Once we're ready to do it, we were on a little roll, and then some stuff happened. Like when we were recording during this pandemic is when we recorded the 7-inch, and we told ourselves, let's at least put a 7-inch out during this pandemic, and at least have the recording of an album done before the pandemic's over. And we were close, and then we kind of got derailed with personal stuff, and This guy couldn't do something, that guy couldn't do something. So we're just waiting now for everybody to be on the same page,
But there'll definitely be an album in the near future.
Yeah, it should be, unless, somebody fucking gets struck by lightning or something crazy. We'll see.
Richie, let me ask you, who are you currently listening to now these days?
Yeah, what are you listening to for music right now?
As far as a new band, there's a new band called Carried by Six that I'm digging. Carried by Six is from the Philly area.
Okay.
I like that. I like that band. I always listen to my same stuff. Like for me, it's all day Black Sabbath and Madball, like all day.
Well, that's two of the best.
Yeah. That's like my go-to. And then I might be in, a particular track might cross my mind of another band, so I'll put that in. Guns N' Roses a lot lately. Appetite for Destruction album. Yeah. Been fiending on that. I've been trying to feel some of the new rap stuff, but
I know you're a big My Son fan, right?
My Son, yeah, I like my son got skills. He's always putting shit out, right?
Yeah, I mean, I honestly haven't been really following what he's been doing recently, but I know he was on fire for a while.
Yeah.
He did a ton of freestyles. Yeah,
I think Ray got on the joint and did some shit. It was fire.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, he did a bit. I mean, I know Rich, you've been a fan for a while because me and you will go back and forth sometimes on social media, and you're like, "Yo, you got to check out My Son's new shit."
Yeah, no, he's dope. It's just like I don't think he gets his due. You know what I mean?
Well, I think he's heavy into a political activism too. I think maybe that's what he's concentrating on.
That doesn't help for views, though. You know what I mean?
Well, it depends what you're talking about. I guess nowadays with everything going on.
Yeah, but in hip hop, like it's kind of like right now with the younger.
Oh
stuff,
yeah.
It's the more degenerate and goofy you could get, and they love it. Like,
you ain't lying.
These motherfuckers are speaking English. Like, I don't even know if they're speaking English.
I don't think they're speaking anything. It's just I don't know what it is.
And it's like, yo, to be a rapper, what do you got to do? You got to talk.
Yes.
And I can't even understand you when you're fucking talking. You're defeating the whole purpose.
Yeah, no, I agree with you, 110.
But then again, I shouldn't say nothing. Like the stuff you've been putting out, I love that stuff.
Thank you, bro. Appreciate it.
I got the stuff. Vinny Paz has been always like, I don't know how this guy puts out so much stuff. Like it's insane.
Well,
he's always got
That's kind
I'm
of
always impressed with his stuff.
Yeah, that's kind of the move for, like I said earlier. I think that's the move for hip hop artists in 2020.
Yeah. But I think he's like putting out album after album.
Yeah. He's not just dropping like 4 or 5, 6 songs. He's dropping full albums and just.
Yeah, he just put out one not too long.
Yeah,
ago.
no, and then and I'm sure they're recording more stuff right now. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure he'll be dropping more shit very soon.
And then the thing, they get better somehow.
Yeah. Well, like I guess it's like wine.
Master the sound.
Yeah.
But I love good hip hop. So anything new, hit me up and let me.
Bro, I'll definitely. Have you heard like the Griselda dudes and all that stuff, like Benny the Butcher? I think you'd like that. If you
I know that name.
Yeah,
I know that name.
Yeah, that's they're pretty. I'm not gonna just call them mainstream, but they're pretty close, and they basically blew up off of doing boom bap, fucking grimy '90s sound and shit. And Eminem signed them, and they got something going on with Jay-Z too.
Oh, nice. Where are they from?
Buffalo, actually. From
Buffalo. Is it to do with the eyeball?
Yeah, Conway, and then West Side Gun's kind of like the mastermind behind the whole thing.
Yeah, that whole clique of guys.
Yeah, man. And then there's dudes out in Rochester. It's weird because it's like upstate New York is popping. Like these guys, 38 Special, Ito. I'm actually on a track with Ito. Those guys out of Rochester are killing it too. It's like weird. It's like these little unknown cities, and it's dope for me coming from kind of a smaller city. People putting smaller cities on the map with the real shit.
Yeah, and it's funny though, because a lot of those little cities up in New York State are grimy.
Oh, definitely, no question about it. I know.
I used to go visit my homeboy Ray, who was stationed. He was up in Newburgh.
Yep. I know Newburgh.
Newburgh is falling apart.
Yo,
what the hell going on?
Yo, my homie, shout out to the BX King. He got a pawn shop in Newburgh, Apollo Pawn and Gold. So if you're in the Newburgh area for any reason, make sure you go check him out.
Nice, pick up a nice Jesus piece.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, Newburgh's pretty grimy, man.
Oh yeah, for real. All of those, like all those.
Troy.
Yeah, Troy, yeah. Albany. Shout out to my brothers out there. Syracuse. Yep. People might not expect, but even where you're from, I mean, I remember I came out to, it was the Keystone Jam. I forget what city was that in. That club. Reading. And like we're driving. Me and my brother Ruben. Shout out to Ruben. We're driving and. Like we're in the mountains, and then all of a sudden we go into the city, and it all of a sudden turns to like the hood out of nowhere. It's like mountain ranges, and then boom, you're in like the middle of the hood,
Yeah.
I was like, oh shit.
Yeah, Reading was like consistently the poorest city in the country, like consistently. It was
really?
Rough. And per square mile, the most Latinos per square mile in the whole country.
Oh wow,
shit.
I didn't know that. Oh.
Yeah, it's like a big community. There's some kind of center there where a lot of dudes come, and they get distributed like for working here.
Yeah.
So it's got a big Latino community, a lot of like Latino rappers that
really?
you might have heard of or out of that spot. But yeah, Reading, grimy, definitely.
Is that Club Reverb where that show was? Is that the club you were talking about?
Yep, that's Club Reverb.
Cool.
Yep.
Yeah, that was a cool spot.
Yeah, that's our homie Chris's club, and everybody gets treated good, and it's a good spot. And
I remember you were bartending over there. Actually, I remember that.
Trying. I still don't know how to pour a beer to save my life.
Straight edge guy bartending.
I thought I was going to go back there and be like Tom Cruise, throw stuff in the air, catch it, and then back.
Fucking little flair.
Yeah, I couldn't even pour one beer. I thought it was like, oh, this actually takes skill. Oh man,
you were pretty generous with the drinks, though. I must say, with the pours.
Yeah. If you got something with liquor in it, I'm gonna lace you up. Yeah.
One other thing I wanted to bring up, me and you have a link. A friend of ours that passed away, Product of Waste. I know you guys toured with them, and you guys actually did a tribute song or a cover, right?
Yeah. We did 2 covers. The one I think that we recorded through Stress is when we mentioned that 7 inch a while ago. Yeah, we recorded 2 Product of Waste songs, and my label put out their last release.
Which release was that?
I'm not sure the name of it, if it even had a title. But the way T operates, the last one's with him. You can see his back.
Oh yeah. Good and Evil.
Is that the name of it?
Yeah,
that might be the one before.
I think it's Good and Evil.
It could be. That's the one we put out though. It's like kind of white. It's his back
with the flag.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yep.
Yeah, rest in peace, T, man. Talented.
He was dope.
Talented artist out of Rhode Island. In my opinion, the best hardcore band from here, Product of Waste. If anyone out there listening never heard Product of Waste, go check him out. And he also did hip hop stuff
old
too.
School grimy hardcore. Yeah. His hip hop was dope. I bought his van.
That's right. The van story. Yeah.
Yeah. He was like, he sold me his old van. They went all the way to California back, and then I went to sell it. I said, I'll give you some money for that. Boom. Gives me the van, but there's a seat missing. Like, because it had like those captain chairs, you know what I'm saying? So one of the captain chairs is gone. So I'm like, yo, where's the other captain's chair? He's like, oh yeah, get it? You want to get it? I'm like, yeah, let's get it. So we drive to, like, it looks like the project to me. Like, I'm in Rhode Island. I don't know where I am, you know?
Yep.
And he starts yelling at this dude through the window. And the guy's like, what, T, what's wrong? What's wrong? He's like, I need that fucking chair back. Give me that fucking chair. And he's like, oh, come and get it then. Come and get it then. He's like, let me get out of the house first. And the dude, he's like, why? Why you got to get out? He's like, I don't want to be in here while you're in the house. I'm like, whoa, what am I getting into?
Oh, man.
Yeah, what do these guys got going on? So we go into this guy's house. The guy's like in the closet or in another room. He's like, and in the guy's fucking living room is nothing but like a fucking TV on the floor and that van chair. That's his whole living room. And fucking, I almost wanted to be like, yo, let's do the fucking chair.
Just let him keep it, yeah. Who knows what was going on in there?
You might not have wanted that chair back.
Yeah, maybe you didn't want that chair.
Yeah.
You're pulling a cooler there.
Yeah. I was like, this is crazy. This motherfucker had one piece of furniture in his whole house. Poor guy.
Did you guys rock some shows with Product of Waste?
Yeah, we played with them a few times, definitely. Like, I always loved, like, right off the bat, I liked that band.
Yeah,
you know, and it's all about his vocals, his, like, the delivery
good.
of the vocals. Because it was a total old school band somehow with a bouncy hip hop vibe somehow.
Yeah.
You know, but it sounded dirty, sounded old school, sounded like punky, but his delivery was sick. And then when I'm hearing him rap, I'm like, oh, this dude does whatever he wants. That's dope.
Yeah, no, he was definitely talented in both lanes for sure.
Yeah, rest in peace. That was a good dude. I had a lot of fun with that guy.
Yeah, man, good dude.
Besides not touring, Richie, how you been making out with this whole COVID nonsense?
Not bad. Like, I had off for a little while. I work in New York City.
All right.
And when they shut that down, and it was real serious in New York, I was off. So, boom, I was sitting at home. That's when I started writing a lot of the stuff, vocal stuff. And then eventually they called me back in. You want to come back to work? And I've been working since. So it's not too bad,
well,
you know. But
you got to go back to work, and you got time to actually focus a little bit more, probably, and fucking get them tracks down.
Yeah. And it's like, I go to work, and the commute to the songs, I could listen again. I listen to other people's music. Then I could catch up on a lot of stuff. I kind of like was sleeping, honestly, being home all the time. I was like doing a lot of my own music, but I wasn't hearing nothing new.
Yep.
Yeah.
I wasn't checking nothing out. But and even during the pandemic, I got to be honest, bro. I went, like, people probably gonna hate on me, but I flew down to Charlotte, hung out with my people down there. I went to Boston. I was hanging out up there. I went to Baltimore, chilling, Philly. I'm like, what am I going to stop doing stuff? You know, I'm not going to stop doing anything.
I bounce around a lot too. I hear you. I'm not
Yeah.
stopping.
Some people were, afraid, and some people said, fuck it, let me get out there.
Yeah. And I get it. Like, if you're afraid, I get it. Like, because,
You're afraid to stay home.
Yeah.
My opinion.
Yeah, I'm not going to go to a place and they say wear a mask. I'm not going to be the guy that doesn't wear a mask. I'll put one on, no doubt. I'll always put one on.
Yeah.
But otherwise, I still want to I still want to live life,
Our governor's making it, and Massey's making us fucking wear masks outside now. It's like,
Yeah. Do you guys have a lot of restrictions in Pennsylvania?
yeah, how is it out there?
Pennsylvania's kind of like with the Wild West. Like,
Fuck yeah.
even from the beginning, like
good.
the county I live in, the authority was like, we're not enforcing any of this stuff.
Really?
We're not enforcing it. Yeah. They're like, if state officials from outside the county come in or federal, that's different.
Yeah.
But you don't got to worry about, you don't got to worry about like local cops doing anything, local officials. If open too late, like that's not happening, So, yeah, they were kind of pretty lackadaisical with it. They let us do the thing. Like,
That's good.
when I was in New York and like restaurants were closed and shit. I'm like, damn,
Yeah,
because you know, in PA, like we could go to a restaurant. It was like 75% capacity kind of deal.
Wow.
You know, something like that. Yeah, like
that's
it
what
was.
out here.
No, it's 25. 25. He's saying 75 in Pennsylvania. Out
so
here,
25% loss.
No, he's saying
Out there,
75% capacity.
Yeah, that's a 20.
Yeah.
You're losing 25%.
What do you mean?
75 minus 25. I mean, well, plus 25 is 100.
Yeah, but he's saying they can have up to 75% of their capacity.
Yeah, and we're at 25%.
We can only have 25%
It's
of
fucking
our
garbage.
capacity. So it's
But
crazy.
like, even to think about that, like my bar, we could have 900, 800 people, I think it is. And even on a busy night, we're not having 200 people there all at once.
Well, then business is slow
The
then.
fucking baker sucks, dude.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah, it's a
we gotta
weird
shut
time,
down
man.
at fucking 9:30. We gotta shut
Yeah,
down.
now everything got to shut down by, there's a curfew now, 9:30 or 10 if you're in Massachusetts or Rhode Island.
You guys
You
have
know, I
curfews
heard
out
that.
there?
I heard that they're stopping. It didn't happen yet, but I heard they're going to stop alcohol at 10.
Yeah. Well, some places
So that's
they are,
kinda
yeah.
But
crazy.
the restaurants still can serve food?
Yeah, from what I know, I mean the rest
Yeah, that's so
serve
fucking
like
nuts. I'm going to order 4 doubles at 10 o'clock and sit here till 2.
Yeah. Well, no,
like when I
but
went to Boston, I didn't know what to expect.
yeah.
But honestly, I went to Little Italy, and on the street, it was popping.
Yeah.
Like, for people on the street, tables on the street, they closed the streets down. Nobody was inside, but I was surprised, you know.
Kinda
So
nice
I go
like
to
that.
these places, I never know what to expect, but for the most part, people are doing something, you know, they're living a little bit, but
What
I don't know when this fucking
what
thing's gonna
restaurant?
happen,
What
man.
restaurants you go to when you were in the North End?
I don't know, man. I forget the name, but while I was out there, walking to this one restaurant I did go to, I saw like 3 or 4 that I wish I went to. Like,
Word.
they look like so many good spots
Well,
there,
the
man.
North End's fire.
Yeah, man. There's about
Shout out to
200.
the North End.
There's about 200 restaurants in a mile.
Yeah, I stayed right there by the water, and,
Yep.
and we were just chilling all night. Because we were just like, yo, let's go to Boston.
Yeah,
See
man.
how it is. Fuck it.
Next time you come out, hit me up. You know, I'll link up with
Yeah.
you. I know some spots out there. I got some friends over there, so we can we definitely would hit up a couple good restaurants.
Actually be there
Beautiful.
tomorrow.
I'm always down.
Yeah.
Nice.
So you want to plug your social media website?
Well, with Wisdom and Change, you know, on Facebook, there's a Facebook and there's an Instagram. There's Twitter. Twitter's not very active. None of us can seem to really figure out how to work.
Twitter's only for famous people. I was trying to tell Rob that.
I don't do Twitter, dude.
He hates Twitter.
I
and
tried. I hate it.
I'm
I
like,
tried.
yo, Twitter is meant for like fucking Donald Trump and like fucking Kanye West.
Donald Trump loves Twitter.
I can't even look at it without getting a headache. But, like, I don't even
I
know.
don't. I've been trying. I probably started it like 4 times, and I'm like, I can't fucking do this fucking thing.
It's my least
Yeah, I don't
favorite.
like it.
It's my least favorite of all the social medias.
Good. You love social media.
Me too. Me too. We definitely have one, but it's not very active.
Is Wisdom and Change on Snapchat?
I don't think so, but maybe. But if
You guys
so,
just-
it's like not active.
You should start up a Wisdom and Change Snapchat. That would be dope.
Do that?
Behind the scenes.
Yeah, you
like,
could do that.
shit, and fucking when you're
Yeah,
recording, just
yeah.
put little clips up.
Yeah, do it, bro. Look into it.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna look into that. Good luck.
So, Wisdom and Chains on Instagram, Post America Podcast on Instagram. Is there a Wisdom and
Both
Chains?
of those on Facebook and Instagram. both
Okay.
of those.
And
Facebook, Instagram.
Wisdom and Chains website?
We don't have a website. We just use the Facebook and Instagram. Then I got the Fast Break Records is on Instagram. Then I got a little merch, Straight Edge merch company, Crucified Straight Edge. That's
Word.
up on Instagram.
Oh, you got you're doing gear now, or have you been doing that and I'm just not paying attention?
Yeah, I've been doing it for a minute. I've been doing it for a minute. Just some Straight Edge stuff with my homie Joe Hardcore from Philly. and my
Okay,
man
yeah.
Keith.
I'll have to check that out for sure.
What is it called again? Crucified?
Crucified Straight Edge.
Crucified Straight Edge.
There's,
And
there's a link on there through your IG.
Yeah, it's on Instagram. You'll probably, if you type it Crucified
All right.
Straight Edge,
Yeah, I'll
pop
find
right up.
cool. So make sure you check that out on my Straight Edge homies.
Absolutely.
And even if you're not Straight Edge, check it out.
That could be dope merch. Rich, you got any shout outs to give?
Yeah, man, just shit. Everybody, like, maybe I don't got any. There's too many people, but everybody, you know, missing everybody we haven't been able to see. Right? Sure, you guys feel the same.
Absolutely, yeah.
You know, everybody's gonna be back in the mix soon. Things will be good, but for now, we just wait it out. You know, what are you gonna?
I'll say day by day, my brother.
No doubt, man. Well, Rich, listen, bro, thank you for coming on. It was great. Great interview, and let's work on some music, bro.
Well, you guys
Yeah, I'll
definitely
see what I
gotta
can
link
put
up.
together.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
I'm
definitely.
gonna hit you up about that soon, and we'll definitely get some tracks done. And we're gonna end the show with one of my favorite Wisdom and Chain songs. And the song, I think, Richie, this song's about you, right? It was written about you, Cap City.
Cap City, yeah, Cap City, yep.
That was an experience you had, right?
Yeah, we went to our homie's house, Joey Knuckles, tattoo artist. He lives in Columbus, Ohio. And on the way there, it was real late. And we were on a little tour, so we were playing Columbus that night. And we're going to play Detroit the next day, then Chicago, so on. So the guys pull in to his house. They go in his crib, but they leave me in the van because I'm sleeping. So I'm like, I'm just sleeping in the van. Next thing I know, I wake up and some strangers driving a fucking van. So I was like, I
kidnapped?
woke up. I was basically kidnapped. He's like, you got kidnapped. I started throwing this guy a beating while he's driving, and then the next thing you know, he just guns it and goes right off the road over this fucking guardrail. Yeah, it was
a nightmare.
It was.
Well, we're going to end it with that. Wisdom and Chains, Cap City. Big shout-outs to Richie Mancuso, a.k.a. Richie Krutch. It was great having you on, bro.
Richie, we appreciate it, brother.
Thanks,
Thank
man.
you so much. Don't forget, follow
And,
Instagram, Wisdom and Chains.
Yep, and I'll talk to you soon, bro.
All right, man. Thanks,
All
guys.
right.
Take it easy.
Peace.
That's right, boys and girls. Richie from Krutch. Street Corner Soapbox, we're fucking out of here.
February, Ohio night. We were headed anywhere, it's not a big sight. Trying to get to Columbus by daylight. Quick stop and clear there, we pick up scares. Big Joker was there.